Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Hokom here at the Discraft headquarters. Thanks for letting us do the coverage here. I'm here with...
Hi, Ellen Widboom from Brooksville, Florida, and definitely stoked to be doing the coverage for day 2.
Yeah, so let's get into the coverage, see the action. So hole 1 here is a par 3, 477 feet. Jessica has the tee, throws a great shot. Heiser flips it out of her, right off the hip. Comes back, gives her a nice putt inside circle 2.
Yeah, your main goal here on this hole is to keep it left. Don't saw it off too early to the right. And honestly, you can see the basket from anywhere that you go left. So even if you're short, you still have a decent shot at an upshot.
Here we have Rebecca Cox. She's going to have to throw a turnover here with her righty backhand. Turns over pretty good, stays turned. We'll see her outside circle 2 on the right side. And then Holly is up next. It's turning, but it fades out. The elevation is almost 70 feet of drop, so you really have to turn it, and if there's any wind like there was yesterday, this makes it tough. So she's got a long approach here, try to get to save her par.
Yeah, I guess if you're too far left, it's definitely going to be a more challenging upshot, but again, you can still see the basket. There wasn't really any wind today on the first couple holes.
Rebecca leaves herself a little 15-footer. Got about a 60-footer here, hoping to put this one close.
Nice upshot.
And Jessica also about 60 feet, just lays it up, not going for anything. Nobody really gets this 2. It's a little out of range for most of the players. So we're really just trying to play it for a 3. In fact, there wasn't a 2. There was only 1 2, and it was today, and it was about a 150-foot throw-in by Jessica. So that's Jessica Jaworski, I think. Sorry if I said that wrong, Jessica. So
Rebecca
again, playing for left. 3 here.
Yep, Rebecca just a bit left on the left side of the basket, so she'll be putting back for 4.
Holly here with a little tap in. Nice and confident, easy peasy.
And Rebecca for her bogey. Moving on, hole 2.
56 pars here, 56% pars, a few bogeys. We can see even on the lead card, there's a couple bogeys. So even though it's out of range, it's still producing some score separation on that approach shot. There's a little slope on the left side that can kind of leave you with a little bit longer look than you want. So a couple pars, couple bogeys. Moving on to hole 2. Hole 2 is a 435-foot par 5, way up a hill. It plays much longer than 435, probably close to 620, 630. You're kind of trying to get that flight up the hill, but still keep it in that short grass because the fairway, the rough is rough here. Rebecca puts out a really nice hyzer, really just trying to land in the middle and going for a little bit more precision on that second shot. Holly also pumping that Starlight. I think it's a Starlight Destroyer. Maybe somebody can correct me in the comments, but Starlight Destroyer up that hill.
Yeah, your main goal, you want to stay in the fairway on this one, anywhere off to the left or the right. The right's not so bad. The left gets a little bit hairy.
Just turns this over a little bit, but she's still got to look from outside the circle.
And this basket is a raised basket.
See Holly with an approach, trying to get up there. Comes a little short on the hill, but she'll also have a putt to get her eagle. Rebecca throwing another hyzer. She'll be just outside the circle to get to the eagle putt. Throwing a mongoose here, turnover up the hill. Fades out a little bit at the end, but I do have a look from outside the circle.
And there is no OB here on this one except for the road behind it, and that really doesn't come so much into play.
Holly with a nice run. See if Jess can convert this. For the eagle.
Great run.
She gets the trash can.
Yeah, so. You can hear that from miles away. Another good look at it, Rebecca.
I'm just outside the circle. Jumper goes in. I'd say, it says it's a par 5. It does kind of play as a par 4 in my opinion. But I'm happy to get the eagle there. Don't have that many looks at that.
Definitely the throwing uphill presents more of a challenge for a lot of players. So I could see definitely a par 4. It's or par 5, but yeah, eagles.
79% of the field converted the birdie here. So, if that tells you anything, it's probably more of a par 4, but it's nice to get a birdie in there when there's not that many other scoring opportunities on this course. So birdies and an eagle. Our card played this really well. Now we're here at hole 3. This is a big shot, 590 down a hill. The real trouble's on the right. So you just want to stay left, and I'm happy with the tee shot there.
So nice to just let it fly and let gravity do the work on this hole.
Here's Jess. She's going big. Fortunately, it stays turned over, and she is now in the right rough. I'm going to have a tough shot to get out of there. We have Rebecca. Also turns it over a little right, but ends up kind of in that tall grass on the right. And Holly also pumping it out there and turning it over right a little bit. Down that hill, sometimes it's tough to judge the angle. And I think that's kind of where everybody got kind of stuck in. Rebecca with a great approach. Yeah. Just getting to the top there. She's going to have about 100 feet.
Yeah, being on that slope on the side's a little bit more challenging for your footing, but it's still manageable to get your second shot up on the top of the hill.
See a nice out from Holly, challenging that right side, but she keeps it in the short grass. Now Jess with a big anhyzer. Sort of clips the right side tree and is now right side of the basket. I'm throwing just a pretty standard approach here, a couple 100 feet with Firebird, trying to put it close. And a do.
Great job.
Now we have Rebecca 100 feet up, try to get her par.
Yep, definitely have a look at the basket from there.
Holly throws a nice approach. Everybody's under the basket. Now we're over here looking for Jessica's shot. And unfortunately, we lose her shot, and this is actually her recovery shot. So we looked for 5 minutes, probably. The gallery was in there. We could not find her disc. The rough is so rough over there. So she ended up having to go back to her previous lie. So now she threw another turnover. This time it went early right. So she's having to recover from this. Then she throws a huge spike hyzer up and over this tree, which you can see it just landed right there. And now she has about a 60-footer to try to save her double. She makes a really nice run at this, but she'll be tapping out a 7.
Yeah, shout out to the spotters, though, on these holes and throughout the whole tournament. They really did a great job. Thanks for marking all the holes. And sometimes like Sarah was saying, that rough, it just gets, you can't find anything in there. And the disc could be right in front of your face, and it would still be impossible to find sometimes. And
from the elevated tee pads we're shooting from, the rough looks very tame from the upper portions, but then once you get down to the actual ground, the rough is high. It's waist high, chest high, and it's thick. Lots of brambles, blackberry bushes, poison ivy, all the things.
Yeah. Lots of poison ivy. And again, the rough doesn't play as OB, but it still presents quite the challenge.
Tough break there for Jess. Everybody else converted the par. I got the birdie. And so that gives me a little lead over Jess at this point. And we're back here at hole 4. This is a 508-foot par 4. Tricky tee shot. You want to land in a good spot to give yourself a look on the next shot, which is up the hill to the right. Rebecca smashing a nice hyzer. Puts herself in good position. Still has those line of trees in front of her, but she'll have a look to get up and down for the birdie. Holly turns it over just a little bit. It ends up in that tall grass on the left. I do like that approach from the right side, though.
I really do. It plays well for the sidearm player, for sure.
Even the backhand, it seems like you get more distance up on to throw that turnover shot rather than trying to hyzer something.
There definitely is a window over there. The first day, a couple players went that way, and got a good skip off the dirt.
Jessica with the roller, and I mean, it didn't end up exactly where she wanted, but she executed that. That's a tight window.
That's a good
great
play.
shot
Good
there.
play for the second shot for sure to get through those trees.
Rebecca also ending up a little left, but she also had to hit a really tight gap right there.
Yeah.
Holly with her second shot kind of turns it over, ends up kind of on the right side at the bottom of the hill. She'll still have 120 to approach.
I see what you're saying about that turnover shot there for the backhand.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a good gap.
And then she kind of hits the trees again, so she's struggling a bit here. Rebecca out from the rough, puts it on the left side, inside the circle.
I think it drops off a little bit behind that basket, though, so it's really kind of tricky to run it on a...
Oh, now Jessica threw a horseshoe right there. She actually went outside the right side of her body.
That's one you don't see every day.
Here's Holly from outside the circle. Great run, hits the bottom of the cage, rolls, and that slope just makes it roll even more out to the right. So she's going to have another long putt.
There's that drop off. Oh, that's a good up from where she was. That's a tricky
leaving
shot.
herself about 20 feet. This hole played pretty tough.
And this is for
just
the bird?
outside the circle.
Oh.
This was the second hardest hole, and only 2 people got the 3 today. So Paige Bjorkis on your card, you saw her.
She had a great 3. She had a great run today for sure. And that, yeah, she played this whole textbook.
Rebecca coming up a little short. Holly looking to slam this putt after some bad luck previously.
Just on the left.
Chains out.
And I think we'll have just a couple tap-ins.
Yes, tap-in time. Now we're going to move on to hole 5. This one is only 300 feet, but it plays pretty tough. The conditions here today, though, were really nice.
Honestly, beautiful weather. We had some dew on the ground when we first started playing. Again, the wind really wasn't there today, at least for the early rounds. And this shot, it bodes well for the backhand or the forehand. There's both shots there, and you really just kind of have to hope to get it through those trees. There's no real clear line.
Yeah, those trees definitely block both shots coming in. Jessica and I are both showing the sidearm hyzer here, hoping to hit one of those many little gaps through the trees.
Get a good skip with the sidearm as well.
Becca throwing a turnover, hoping to keep that turning. It's tricky up that hill and still turned over through a tight gap. I think it plays better for the sidearm, but the backhand really has a better chance of parking it if you really get it in there. So Jess and Holly are going to have some long putts, and Rebecca and Holly will have some long putts here, excuse me. Nice approach by Rebecca.
Great up. Yeah, but on this one, once you get to the trees, you really just lay it up. Don't really have clear shots at the basket to go for the putt unless you're where Sarah is.
Yeah, both Jess and I both have putts here.
Those are great drives to get through all those trees.
But unfortunately, we had a little headwind here. It dropped my putt and then turned her putt a little bit more. But we didn't have really any wind most of the round. But right here, we happen to have this weird little headwind.
That is crazy.
It was
all
pretty
those
light,
trees
but
too, cutting through.
Yeah, this hole played pretty tough for the whole field. Only one birdie today, Nicole Dionisio. Pickle. Yeah, I got that too with a 50-foot throw-in. So nobody's really getting inside the circle here.
Great shot, Pickle.
So a bunch of threes here. Pars are good out here, honestly, anywhere you are, even on a hole that you can get that birdie on. So here we are, hole 6, 540 feet. This is a tricky shot. Really want to get it up into the fairway to slightly right. Give yourself an open approach.
There's a small grouping of trees there that if you can get around to the left, fade right, or just shoot straight up the gap, you want to be on top of that hill so you have a look at the basket.
Nice shot, Jess. She throws it almost perfectly.
This camera shot doesn't so much do it justice as kind of how steep that hill is and how much you really can't see the basket if you're walking up that hill.
Right, so to be on over the front of it.
Yeah. Correct. And again, like most holes, you don't want to be too far left or too far right. It's like a great shot. She should have an out from there.
Yeah, we're all kind of grouped at this top of the hill. She fades a little early and hits those early trees, and now she's going to be behind those to get up and down for her par.
And there are a bunch of vines down there, and it slopes.
Jess throws a beautiful shot. I believe that's her rock she's throwing there. Just pures that shot. Gives herself an edge of the circle putt.
Oh, just off the tree. It might have actually kicked favorable, so now she'll have a clear look at the basket. I didn't see exactly where it went.
I'm turning this over a little too much, but it fights through and gets to the front side, which I'm thankful on. So Holly's got a long approach here, about 300 feet. She's throwing her eagle. Throws us a lot for approaches. Really beautiful shot.
Oh, yeah, that's up there. She'll have a look.
Puts her up there, close to the circle's edge.
That's a tough spot to be in. There's a lot to fight through down there, vines and
she pures it.
And she made it look easy. Good job, Rebecca.
Throwing just a little joker approach.
Smart up shot.
Here we go, just for her birdie. Just a little low. It is very mounded there. And
Holly to
save it. And she does. Yeah. She's putting great today. You know, only one person got the 3 today, the birdie, Ragna. So this is playing pretty tough. Only one other person, yourself, you were in the circle?
I think I was just on circle's edge, and it chained out today. I almost had it. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, this is definitely a gettable birdie. I like this play from the women's tee. I think they made a great choice.
Yep.
For this hole.
All right, moving on to hole 7.
So right now we're looking at, I'm at -4, Jess is at even, Rebecca's at 2, Holly's at 4, and that second card I think is coming up with some good scores right here. So we see a little bit of a game going on. Here we are back on hole 7. This is 363 feet. Up a hill, around the corner, to Grandma's house we go.
And this women's tee pad is moved forward a little bit, I believe. The men's is back, and they actually have to shoot through a pretty tight gap to make it up to the front.
And I believe it also plays as a par 4 for the men, but it's a par 3 for the women. This is one of the holes I do kind of wish we were from that back tee playing as a par 4. Seems like this hole, nobody's really getting a look at it.
Yeah, the biggest challenge on this, I believe, is that tree right there with the spotter standing, just getting through it. Either you want to be to the right or the left, more likely to the right of it, or left of it. Even if you're in the field, you still have a clear look at the basket.
Those bushes in the field, though, are very tall. They don't look tall from here, but they are.
I was over there today, and yes,
I was over there yesterday.
About chest high.
Yeah, this hole played really tough for most of the field. Getting around that tree is just. Holly leaves that a little short. So she also has a ceiling on that tree that kind of made her throw it low.
That looks like a great shot from Rebecca.
Yep. Little up shots from everybody.
It really is. Once you get past that tree, it's just an up shot and a putt, or a throw in if you're feeling frisky.
Trying to get a putt here at it. It's a little out of range, but I'm just happy to have a 3 here. Holly trying to save her 3. Up in the air.
Oh,
it's right on line, just a little low. It's quite a bit elevated, quite a bit more than you can see here.
And the danger here. Oh, Jess.
You know, there was a little left to right tailwind there.
I can see that
with her Anheuser putt, it just lifted it up just a little.
There is a little bit of danger here too. If you're putting from outside the circle or right on the circle's edge, it is a little bit hilly, so there is a potential to roll. I saw a few when watching the men's cards the other day.
Couple tap outs here. Yeah, nobody got this hole today. I think it's just a little out of range for almost all the players.
Between that tree and the uphill.
Yeah, no birdies on this one, you know, almost half the field bogeyed it as well. So, well, let's see. No, 21%, 79% pars.
Wow.
All right, throwing a little backhand here. This is also another really tough hole. This one's 462, par 3. And it's from an elevated area, but you got to get up and over these trees to really have a look at the birdie, which, you know, they're playing a big flex up and over them.
I've seen a good mix of shots on this hole. I think I saw one roller over the past 2 days. I've seen my card all went, I believe, over.
Jess here throws a really good shot. She flexed it up and over these, You can kind of see it comes way back in there. Yeah,
that's the shot. That's really
that
what you want to do to get through those trees.
The conservative shot is probably to just throw a hyzer at those trees and try to get them to cut through.
There's the gap there, too.
Which we saw Holly do that. Although she did get caught up in the trees, so she'll have a long look for her birdie. Actually, for her par.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Trying to get it up there to get the putt, because this is a par 3. Also throw a little backhand here, which I shanked to the right, but I got lucky.
Should still come back. Yeah, and even if you get it low enough, through everything, there is a potential to skip kind of up towards the basket. You got that hard pan up there in the circle 1.
Basket's pretty guarded, though. There's a small, like a 15-foot gap to get to the pin. Otherwise, there's a bunch of little 3-foot gaps. Here we go. Jess throwing an easy upshot. She put herself in position. Not really a putt at it, but easy upshot to get her par.
Definitely takes that pressure off.
Here you go, Holly from outside the circle, trying to save her par. And she does it.
Connects.
Whoop, whoop. She's putting great right now.
I did hear a couple cheers from your card behind us.
Yeah, we're
several
having fun
times
out
today.
there. Here's me from a little outside the circle, also trying to save my par.
Crushed
and it goes in.
Wow.
Surprise.
Great putt.
And now here's Rebecca from just inside the circle with a
Just
little
high.
chain left. She's had a couple of those today.
Rebecca's a great putter. I've played with her numerous times, actually this year on the Pro Tour, and I think maybe another tournament or two. Solid putter, and her backhand is really fun to watch.
Explosive.
Yes.
This played as one of the more difficult holes. Nobody got the birdie, as you can imagine. 462 up and over trees around, that's a little outside our range. But 57% pars, 43% above par. So nobody's getting birdies, but there's a little bit of score separation because that 3 is pretty hard to get.
It definitely is.
All right, next hole, hole 9 is par 3, 425. This is another really tough par 3. Up this hill and then off to the right.
It is really hard to tell actually how much that hill slopes up. You were throwing uphill.
You can see what kind of angle she's trying to put on that disc to get it to flex.
She's at the top of the hill, and honestly, that's a good place to be.
Holly throws a little low, clips those bushes, but she'll just have an up and down just like the rest of us to try to get the par.
There's a few gaps up there for sure.
Here's Rebecca with a beautiful shot. Anything up on that slightly right side I found is a little bit easier to approach. Here you go, Holly with her eagle again, trying to peer that gap. She gets caught up a little bit. We'll have to throw another approach shot.
Yeah, there are several gaps up there, and then you have a backdrop to kind of just run the basket if you wanted to. It's really thick behind the basket with the vines, so it'll just hit and sit.
Rebecca with a nice approach. Jess
playing the
way
skip
out.
shot. I like it.
Yeah, she'll put herself right next, pin high, give herself a little putt.
Smart play.
I'm pinched a little here on the right, but I managed to get hyzer through the gap, and I'll have a little putt. This is Holly's approach.
Gave it a run.
Yep.
Was that circle 2 just out just inside?
Rebecca with approach.
Yeah, this was a tough one. If you were in, great putt, great 3. Yeah, if you were on the sides, left or right, it was kind of hard to get out of that and then to save your par. So definitely probably a good mix of bogeys and pars and just a little left.
Yeah, there's a little bit of wind up there to contend with also. Yeah, this is a tough par 3, really tough. I don't, let's see, looks like nobody got the birdie here. 43%, less than half the field even got the par.
You can see
this
that.
Is playing over par, 50%, 57%. It's one of the most difficult holes we play out here. So here we go. We've got a nice race here. Miss Ellen and Paige have jumped up into 2nd and 3rd.
We were battling it out. It was fun.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot of action on that card.
It was, yes, there was.